Well, hello. I was muted because I usually like to chill in silence when I do this stuff. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I I'm assuming it's the first time you join. I see it is the first time, unless it's a duplicate account. Just at work, also working through some ideas for a possible new campaign I may DM. Well, that's my favorite thing to do when I'm working. You're not alone. What are you working on? Let's chat about it so that you know, maybe the workday will pass a little bit more quick. I got off work like 3 hours ago, so I'm good for today. Until tomorrow, I don't want to know anything about it. So I think geography makes more sense, like going from, uh, yeah, regions. Then locations is just too general, honestly. Doesn't make any sense actually. Um, so we will have, I guess, regions. Then we will have probably cities and towns, I would say. That will make a lot of sense. I think I'll make these databases because otherwise we won't be able to connect anything. Okay, so cities and towns. If I look for house, yeah, too modern. Let's put the hut. Make it a slightly, yes. Do we have a castle emoji? Yeah, okay. I'll take it. So what else can we fit under geography actually? We have regions, cities and towns. Then... Oh, Jesus, that's a long message. What the fuck? It will take a while to get there. It will really take a while. Let me check. It's a Gestalt campaign that's kind of a combo of Warhammer 40k and Trench Crusade in terms of millennia's long war between the forces of good and evil. Okay, this is already a lot of information that I have to check because I have no idea what you're telling me. So let's see, Gestalt campaign. What does that mean? And it should be obvious, but maybe it isn't. Gestalt has full class progression of 2 classes simultaneously. Ah, variant rule. Okay, I didn't know it existed. That's very interesting to know. High power campaign variant characters actually take 2 classes at every level, choosing the best aspects of each. The process is similar to multi-classing, except the character gains the full benefits of each class at each level. If the 2 classes you choose have aspects that overlap, dice hit feature common to the coin class, you choose the better aspect. The Gestalt character retains all aspects that don't overlap. The Gestalt character variant is particularly effective if you have 3 or fewer players in group, or if your players enjoy multi-classing and want characters with truly prodigious powers. Wow! Works only if every PC in the campaign uses it, obviously. Results in complicated characters who may overwhelm newer players with abundance of options. This sounds like fun, honestly. And then I wanted to check Trench Crusade because Warhammer 40k I kind of know what it is, Like I don't know the whole lore, but I have, you know, the image in my mind. But Trench Crusade is something I am missing. Oh no! Oh no! I know this one. Someone mentioned it in a stream a few weeks ago. Yeah. I remember. I remember this one. It came up because we were talking about this project on BackerKit called Sisterhood, which is, well, which sounds like a very fun system. Yes, this one. Nuns with Guns TTRPG, like the artwork and the setting are kind of reminding of French Crusade. That's why I came out. I came up. Okay. Now I'm linking all the pieces together. Something I'm thinking of doing is making it so that demons and devils aren't a thing and it's just fiends. For archdevils and demons lord, I'm considering combining ones that feel like mirrors of each other. Baphomet and Bile. Okay, so like, but so a campaign that is heavily focused on, yeah, good versus evil, like very classic theme, but I mean, it sounds fun. Honestly, sounds fun. Taking 2 classes every level, but you gotta have a table full of min-maxers, otherwise might not be for everybody. But yeah, it's wow. And what's the story about? Like, do you have just a general idea for now, or do you already have something a bit more defined? So geography, regions, cities and towns. I'm always struggling because I don't know how into detail I want to go, because cities and towns, it might be nice to put maybe buildings, like specific buildings, but I don't know if, you know, they would be inside the cities and towns. So we can just make a generic points of interest. Something that is interest, singular. Thank you. Landmarks. That's what the word I was looking for. Landmark. Yes. Thank you. Just a general idea for now. Only been playing it for a couple days. Been working on the map before working on the story. Well, yeah, I mean, it's fair. I know that every DM has their own way of starting to write something. Some people start from the map, some people start from the story and then they come up with the map. Some people start with the politics and then they write the whole history and then they write the current situation. It really depends on what's your style as a DM. It's totally fine. I mean, it's yeah. I usually start from general to detailed. So I really like to think about the general politics and economy running in the continent, basically. And then based on that, I like to drop the players into a specific situation or circumstance, you know. And Marcus. Okay. What could be a good emoji for landmarks? Nah. Do we have monument? No. That's a bank. Do we have Stonehenge? I don't think so. That's a tomb. I don't like the tomb as an emoji. Do we have... Ah, yes. The Mohai. I mean, not really the landmark for D&D, but hey. Oh wait, those are 2 messages. Wait. Swedish or Norwegian? Neither of them. Why? Why do you think I'm Swedish or Norwegian? Now I will not reveal my actual accent until you guess it. Sbrilomi, buonasera, buon salve. For the Carnival Fiends, name for Archdevil Demon combo, I'm thinking of just giving them titles as opposed to names, like Balan Baphomet. Combo would be the Lord of the Brazen Maze. Oh, okay, so they don't really have... Yeah, their own name. It's more like, yeah, the title that pops up during Dark Souls boss fights. Basically, that's what you're going for. Very nice. Very, very nice. I like the idea. I mean, history will be books. That's very easy. That's the only... Maybe I'll put multiple books for history and I'll put only one book for the story, which will make more sense, and it will be the one with the bookmark. Politics. What could be a good emoji for politics? Usually flags are very politics, I suppose. What's a flag that looks like a fantasy world? Sri Lanka. Absolutely Sri Lanka. Economy, this will be money, very easy. But we don't like banks. I'll just put the gold coin. Makes a lot of sense. Just based on the accent. Okay, if it's not that, maybe Danish. Do I really... I mean... You are getting closer, but no, I'm not Danish. And I can see why the accent could be... like mixed with that, but no. Not Danish. Where are you from? Because it's not like I can guess the accent from chat messages, you know, it's that will be a bit difficult. Maybe politics doesn't need... doesn't need this because we could put politics, we could put factions, kingdoms. Yeah, maybe that would make more sense. I'll make this a toggle list. But I don't like the toggle list idea because, I mean, you should always have the menu ready here. So, what if I make the geography? Oh, so I'll make it a page first of all, so that it just pops out of it. It deleted everything. Fuck. No, 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 no. I don't like that. Let's just do geography for now. Okay, I'll say geography. And I don't want to make another call out because otherwise it will be just the same thing. Or maybe a quote. Let me see. Oh, I don't need to. Can I make it a page without it being at the same level of the other pages? This is more like an aesthetic kind of thing, and then yeah, no, not working. But why are they all under this? Like, what's why did it select all of them? Because they were in the list together, so probably it's freaking out now for due to that. So I have to take them out of the list. Yeah, okay. That's why. But now my question is, can I make this a quote? And can the quote be a page? No, it's either one or the other. Code. No. Maybe I just leave it as simple text, and these will just be... Oh, now I cannot put them back. Fuck. Just based on the accent, yeah. Alabama, Southeast USA. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of US people in my streams because of the time, I suppose, because it's like, uh, well, if I say the time here now, that will give you a huge hint. So, but let's say it's evening here for me. So, yeah, the US is usually very active around this time. Oh, this is so annoying. I want to organize this in a nicer way so bad. What if I just put the divider here? Like I didn't even start making the thing and now I'm already stuck on the on the aesthetical decisions. You know what? That works. I'll take it. And I'll just put the emoji. Maybe we don't actually need it at all. I'll turn this into text. Politics will just be a page at this point. No. Politics will be another text. Because we'll put another divider here. Divider. Okay. I mean, economy can stay as a page, probably. Will not add much to that. I mean, there won't be any kind of subsections of econ. Actually, there will be, because you have trades, you have taxes and stuff like that. So, yeah, why not? Point is, I want to structure it in a way that makes sense without adding too much unnecessary details that nobody uses, you know? Sorry about that, got pulled away to help a customer. Yeah, don't worry, I mean... Well, like, excusing you from my streaming, like, the first time that someone is like, oh, sorry, I'm not following the stream because I have to help a customer. So I'm assuming you have a very heavily customer-facing job, like mine probably. But if you had to literally physically be pulled away, I would say retail. Because when I have to be pulled away to help a customer, I'm still sitting with my ass in front of the computer. So, do you work in retail? I'm just curious. You can just avoid answering if you don't want to. So economy. What are the components of economy? For sure, we have trades, right? Oops, I want to make a page. Thank you. Because you need something to sell and buy. Well, currency, it's whatever you decide it to be. And then what else? You know what? It is time for a small research. Components of economy. Just very basic research. Like, well, what's the... Yeah, okay, this is already way too this is already way too specific. I feel kind of stuck into a loop now because I keep thinking about history, etymology, elements. Yes, good services. Hmm. I mean, to be fair, in a D&D world, mainly you want to define your world by what is being traded, like import export kind of thing, like resources, which are still part of the trade. So eventually, I'll I'll figure out if we need something new. This is a cardboard box. I want something bit more, bit more medieval. I would do like 5 aspects: currency, import, export, taxes, maybe like inflation or something like that. Okay, okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from. Maybe import export is too like specific because like I would imagine the import export being based on the region, you know, so you want to define the trades in between regions or capitals or whatever. So going for import export for the whole world is maybe too much. But for sure, I would put taxes in politics more than economy. Although they are, I mean, politics and economy are very strictly related. Um, but yeah, no, let's make something that makes sense. Ooh, I keep forgetting. It makes more sense that taxes are under economy, and then they are tied to whatever region or city they are linked to. And inflation, I mean, if we really want to get into D&D inflation, this is not the stream to do it, honestly. This is already way too detailed for my standards. Like I usually don't think about this stuff too much. I think about the general economy, yeah, system, yeah, but what could be something cool for trades? We have a boat. I don't know, something that looks like a very the anchor to make you think about like the ports. I don't know. I'll keep the ports for now. Then we'll see. And taxes, that will be money again. Hmm. A bank? Yeah, but I don't like it. Also, if it's close to Denmark, then maybe German or Polish. Your accent made me think of Old English. Is why I'm sticking with Germanic languages. Ooh, okay. Very interesting reasoning, but no. Ah, yeah, the coin makes a lot of sense. Thank you. I didn't think about the most basic. Um, Still, no. I'm actually closer to Germany than Poland. You want to stay on the, let's say, western kind of side of Europe. Actually, my mouse mat is the map of Europe. It's a very cool one, so I can actually see everything from here. But yeah, definitely on the west side of Germany, not right, not the east side. Okay. Then politics. What do we want in politics? For sure we want, well, factions, if any. We also want alliances, I guess, right? Let's say alliances and leagues, because that sounds very D&D. Leagues. Thank you. Also, like I usually have a lot of fun with people trying to guess my accent because I realize it's a mix of like 1,000 different accents, which is why it is very difficult to guess. But ooh, okay, Netherlands, Luxembourg. Yeah, yeah, you're getting super close. I'm from Belgium, which nobody ever remembers. But yeah, we do exist. It's an actual thing. Belgium is on the maps, although nobody ever notices that. I didn't think enough French inflection to think of Belgium to be honest. Yeah, I don't have the French, uh, the French accent because, well, I speak French, but I lived my whole life in Italy, and since I was a kid, I always followed a lot of American streamers. So I think my accent is a very weird mix of Northern European and US English, which is yeah, very difficult to define. My DM in Brussels is actually from a place close to northern New York, I think, something like that. He always tells me the name, but I keep forgetting. And the first time we met, he told me that he could guess I had a European accent in general, but he would he wouldn't have been able to pinpoint the exact country because it's a weird mix of accents. So yeah, now you know. Good job though. It's a you get in like what 3 hints. That's pretty good. So for politics, we were saying we can have factions, we can have alliances and leagues. Although alliances and leagues and factions are pretty much like, now that I think about it, pretty much the same thing, you know. A faction is, well, a faction is a single entity. Alliances are between factions, I would say, so it will still make sense. And then maybe, I mean, it's not like we need to add something. It's just that I want to add something that makes sense for a D&D campaign manager, you know? So in D&D, for politics, you usually have factions and you usually have alliances and leagues in some kind of way. Maybe we'll do factions and guilds because guilds are also a thing. And I would say that's pretty much it because we don't much more. Family nobility. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, NPCs would be more related to the story. So yeah, it would make a lot of sense to put them into the politics. Problem I'm thinking is how do we link everything? Because let's say I have like a noble family in this list, If I want to link it to a specific town, I need to create the relation. So basically I will need to create one relation for each one of the databases, which is something that you would already do anyway. But so I will say we'll make a page and we'll call it nobles. Noble families, let's say. That's something you usually have in D&D. So for factions and guilds, I would say a shield makes a lot of sense, or the cross swords, maybe. Alliances and leagues, this will be some kind of flag, I would say. Why not? Let's put Sri Lanka again. And this will be crown because that makes a lot of sense. Or dynasties. Dynasties I like. Dynasties I like. Sounds way better. Dynasties. And it suddenly becomes a Turok campaign. I want to change the music. This one is too... it was too whistly. I didn't like that kind of whistle. It was very distracting. And then we can have, okay, geography, going from general to detail, we have regions, cities and towns, and landmarks for like other, basically. History. History, I would just I think I would just divide it in like recent events and historically relevant events. So I would say that can be lore. Basically, we have a page called lore. That will be the, well, ancient history. And then we will have recent events. Or chronicles. Chronicles would be the recent events. Lore, culture, and religion for history. Do I want to put religion and cultures together? No, actually no, because they're very different things. Although they influence each other, I would say. Very much, especially lately. Let's say cultures. And then religions. which brings us to Pantheon as well, right? Because we will need a Pantheon if we have religions as well. Ugh. They're really annoying. Panel bot vets. This is starting to be a bit too long of a menu. But also, you're supposed to have everything you need. Do I want to put an additional section called kingdoms? Or will it be regions and kingdoms together? Because there can be kingdoms, but not all region. Like, a region can be a kingdom, but it can also just be an independent region that is on its own. But then again, if I put a city in a region, it will be in a region regardless of whether that region is a kingdom or a region. So I would say regions and kingdoms. For a moment, I thought I banned the wrong person, but luckily I didn't. Oof. Oof. So, for the lore, there will be books as well. Cultures. Cultures, I don't know. What could be the representative of culture? The footprints, maybe? That was too loud even for me. Tattone,
E fai casino. Fai troppo casino, eh? E non si fa. E no. E no.
And religion will be... I don't want to go for the cross. Cross is kind of... do we have any kind of holy star, light, something like that? This. The glowing star will be religions. So let's experiment a bit on the internal structures now, because I feel like this general structure is not really what we want to go for. Also let me... Aha. Okay. Like, I'll try to take my own campaign as an example, and since someone in the chat is playing this one, I will use the one I'm playing at the office, so that there will be no spoilers. Ha! There we go. So for example, in this world we have Glenbrook. That would be a kingdom. So for sure this would be a database, because otherwise we won't be able to make any link. And I'll call it regions and kingdoms like the section, so that we... And this will be... the Kingdom of Glenbrook. And maybe we would just want to say if it's... I mean, we don't need a property to say if it's a region or a kingdom. You kind of just know it by that. Then let's say capital city is Rabanastre. So in that case, we would want to create a city here. This will be... But in this case, I would say we want a property, at least just to define the size of the city. And we'll have capital, we'll have city, we'll have town, we'll have village. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I think these are the 4 sizes you can have, from biggest to smallest. You can also have maybe settlement if you want to go like smaller than village. But then Rabanastre, we know it's related, right, to Glenbrook because it's the capital. So it will be here, regions and kingdoms. We'll put a 2-way relation, cities and towns, I'll add it. And it will be Kingdom of Glenbrook. So that I have the page here and I can check what's happening in Glenbrook. Okay. Okay. I guess that makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'll say... I'll put this one first. Okay, so that works. And then we have landmarks in this case, like the points of interest for the party. For example, Aja is a village. So I can already add Aja in still in Glenbrook. And I can say it's a village. Right. So then the kingdom will have its own page here with a description. So in this case, it will be the general structure. Well, actually, King Rhaegar and all of that, that will be the dynasties we were talking about. So I will just put, for now, this will be just copy paste. It's okay. You just to have the general idea of the working. And then Rabanastre will have its own description that I don't have right now. But I do have a map. I cannot believe I actually created a map for a city that we visited only once during the whole campaign. But that's kind of my fault for not keeping them in the city. I let them just run away. Okay. So let's say I want to put the map here. Over the 5 megabytes limit, we will compress the image. We will compress the fuck out of the image. It will be so compressed it will never be readable ever again. Oh, okay, it's a it's a 3,820. Jesus, that's too much. 50% of that, thank you. Hello? The editor is not working. Okay. Okay, 50% is too much. 70. 65. Nope. 64. Okay, 64 is exactly 5 megabytes. Let's stay on 4.8 just to be safe. Yes, replace. Thank you. And now let's go again. Nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. Yeah, okay, I know it's over the limit, but now I compressed it, so it should be okay. Technically speaking. Just remove this. The file is not over 5. That's not true. Those are lies, Notion. Those are lies. Can I please? That's not true. It's 4.8. It says it right here on the file properties. Those are lies. Let me edit again. I just want to get the map in there just to really make the simulation. Okay, I'll resize it at half of that again. Let me say 90%. Let me say 80%. Okay, 80% is like 3.5 megabytes. Oh, thank God, finally. That was unnecessarily painful. And it's stuck at 3% loading. Perfect. Anywho, let's keep going. What else would I add to this? Then we have Ivalice, right? Is Rabanastra going to be linked to Ganla? Yeah, so I can go back. Okay. Ba-bam. Then we'll have cities and towns, and the capital will be Bujurba. But that will be linked to Ivalice, and it's a capital. Okay, so I would say regions and cities are pretty much okay. They work. I'll just put this one here. And we will put this here as a description. Okay, so that that checks out. And I mean, I divided the regions just because of the geography. But then the region contains the kingdom, but I don't know. I don't know if it's necessary to divide that, honestly. It sounds like just unnecessary. Because it's not like the regions have something specific, it's just to have the west, east, and central divided. So the thing you want to keep an eye on are the regions, like the actual regions and kingdoms. Yeah, I know, it's okay. What if we try to put an NPC now, NPCs? For example, Fajar, the botanist. Well, actually, that starts to become interesting because he is part... So that will be a guild, for sure. This would be new. Factions and guilds. And we will have the Kugan overseers, which will have a relation. Oh, but we didn't create the database. Which will have a relation to the NPCs. New empty database. These are NPCs. And finally, we will have Fajar the botanist. I can close this. We will have a relation property to the factions. Two-way relation. Because he's in the Kugan's overseers, which means it will also have a relation to the region, because that's what we want. So regions and kingdoms, this would be shogunate. Le. So technically now, if we go to the shogunate, it should have all the stuff. Yes. It has the NPC. Oh, but it doesn't have the factions and guilds. Ah, yeah, because there's no relation property for that. So let's fix it. Relation to NPCs, two-way. But it's weird because they should. Oh no, wait, I'm dumb. It's already there. Why am I creating a new one? Of course it puts like, what the hell? Because this is already the backlink. I mean, we are already inside the page that we need for Shogunate. Okay, okay. Citizen Towns will have Kugan. And then I'll open Kugan and I'll say it's the capital. But then Kugan will need a relation to the factions and guilds, because there's no relation for now, and also to the NPCs. I feel like it's gonna be way too many backlinks to manage, because you have to link multiple relation properties each time, which is kind of annoying. It doesn't update on all of them, but also that's how Notion works, so yeah. So now that we created like the basics for one NPC, which was the most difficult, let's try with Sean. Let's see if Sean will be easier to manage. So I'll start with an NPC because I already know what Sean is doing. I'll say it's a fighter. He's also part of the Kugan Overseers, which puts him... Yeah, okay, but you have to link everything. It would be nice to be able to say if it's linked to this, then link everything else, but the if property cannot change relations. So yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of work. It's a few clicks anyway, so should be okay. Okay. Now you have more regions, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, so that should be okay. Let's say I want to add the Obsidian Wastelands as a region because it's not a kingdom, just to have some variety. Cities and towns, there are none aside from the settlements. NPCs, there could be some. Okay. Oh yeah, so the party. Now that's when things become interesting. Do I want to make only a database for this? Nah. That will be the character sheet. When I will start to make the character sheets from scratch again, because it was getting too messy. So let's say that for now this will be a button, because basically what I want is a button that creates insert block, no. Add pages to, ah yeah, but I need to already have a database. So wait, let's start again. So we will have a gallery in this case because I think it's nicer. Just okay, but then we'll have a button that is the actual character sheet. Okay. And it will add a page to the party in database. Ah yeah, it doesn't have properties for now. I have to create everything. I have to create the template for the character sheets, which would be a whole thing inside here. That will take a while. So for now, we'll keep it there. BBG. Ah yeah, for the NPCs, we also need, wait. I mean, they are kind of everywhere, so it's not really... I was thinking... Vabbè, anche perché cazzo parlo in in inglese che ci sei solo te, stream. Sta cominciando a friggermi il cervello. Non sto più pensando alle cose. Sono già 1 ora e 40, sì, in effetti è... Mi sa che fra ventina di minuti faccio quello che va. Comunque c'ho voglia di cominciare Expedition 33. Mi sa che sabato o domenica lo compro e scarico e poi domenica sera lo si gioca. Perché me ne stanno parlando tutti quanti, non voglio sentire spoiler, non voglio... Non voglio rovinarmi la storia perché dicono che sia veramente veramente bello. Capolavoro dell'ultimo anno. Quello che dicono tutti. Ah, stavo pensando ai trades, in realtà questa è una roba che già posso cominciare a fare, prima che me ne dimentichi, perché secondo me qui avrebbe senso dire, non lo so, Mithril per esempio, e poi faccio una relation per Regions and Kingdoms, ma la chiamo From, per esempio. Ah, aspetta, deve essere two-way relation. Deve essere sempre two-way relation. Tipo, che ne so, da Ivalice. Poi la possiamo duplicare. Ah no, non si possono duplicare le relation, che palle. Questo è sempre Regions and Kingdoms, però sarà giù. Ah. Possiamo fare una cosa ancora più migliore. Lo chiamiamo import dall'altra parte perché sono quelli che stanno ricevendo. Così, in teoria, se vado su Ivadis, non c'hanno un import, ma Glenbrook. Ah, yes. Ok. Quindi to relation on, invece che chiamarlo trades, lo chiamiamo export. Così almeno nel regno si capisce che... Poi queste sezioni qua secondo me le farò diverse. Perché cioè non è che tutto deve essere per forza un database, però in realtà sì, perché comunque devono esserci collegamenti e robe varie, quindi... mm. Mm. Cos'altro posso aggiungere? Fa vedere un attimo. Perché queste qua sono le storie, le robe. Mm. Ah, yeah, Dynasties, ecco. No, no, ho sbagliato, no. Ho miscliccato, lasciami stare. Quindi per esempio qui avevamo... Bla 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 bla. Mamma mia. Ho trovato un typo nel mio stesso materiale. Quindi qui possiamo mettere una relation sul regno, la cosa che ha più senso, e poi un'altra relazione sugli NPC, perché alla fine questi saranno messi. Quindi tipo abbiamo il re, ok, bla 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 bla, ok. E se io ne volessi aggiungere, ok. Per esempio, ok, ok. Quindi qua più che altro magari lo chiamiamo members. Il che potrebbe anche essere ottimo per le fazioni in realtà, adesso che ci penso. Vedi che le idee vengono facendo le cose. Perché NPCs suona malissimo. Memebers, mimbers. Ah yes. Eh, ci serve anche... Ah, questo è più... Ok, questa è storia. Pe, pe, pe. Poi avremo un call out. Facciamo campaign. Questo sarà... Mm. E sotto la campaign c'è... Sotto la campaign avremo pagina. No, 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 anzi. È un database. Lista. La voglio mettere nel menu una lista, la mettiamo dentro la pagina. Perché così è un casino da gestire poi. Faremo una pagina con dentro le session notes. Qui sarà una pencil. E qui facciamo le database list. Very facile. E sotto le session notes mettiamo, anzi, facciamo session prep. Così. Oddio, voglio fare session prep e session notes separati? In realtà sì. BBAG non dovrebbe essere una sottoclasse di NPC? Bella domanda. Bella domanda, in realtà sì, perché il BBG alla fine è un NPC, a tutti gli effetti. In effetti non ha senso. Perché anche nella mia campagna qua, cioè il vero BBG sarebbe Orcus, che è dietro a tutto quanto il Black Dawn e tutte quelle robe lì. Però a tutti gli effetti è un NPC nella campagna, cioè... Sì, ci sta. Così rimuove anche una sezione che prende troppo spazio di sotto. Party. Yes, party. What about il party? Non va su campaign piuttosto che story. Um, sì e no, cioè più no che sì, perché campaign lo immagino più come proprio la sezione dove ti prepari tu da DM le note, le robe da fare in sessione, le idee. Parte invece più ok, cioè sono legati alla storia, se succede qualcosa metto o aggiorno la storia del personaggio, aggiorno la storia a storia. Che poi non so neanche se voglio effettivamente una pagina storia a storia, però... Cioè il senso del parte sotto la storia è che alla fine sono molto più vicini a questo che alle note, cioè questo è più appunto per te come DM dici ok mi preparo le robe. Magari in realtà questa roba qui la posso mettere in un menu sulla destra in realtà e chiamarlo invece che campagna perché in realtà questa è la campagna. Uh, cioè perché l'idea è appunto fare una sezione per il DM dove puoi fare le robe. I mostri con le loro statue. Vero. Mm. Oddio, quello me lo immagino che rientrino nella preparazione, cioè nel senso che te li vai a vedere, prepari la sessione, poi li incontri a sessione. Quindi in realtà non so se fare una sezione perché cioè o prendi delle stat comunque dei stat log già fatti Ma anche se fai tu uno stat block finirà nella tua session prep comunque alla fine. Proviamo a fare una roba, aspetta. Fammi fa un esperimento. Dove cazzo? Ok. È esattamente quello che volevo fare. Adesso provo a fare. La madonna, no. Ok. E adesso possiamo fare questa bella cosa qui che si chiama mettere tutto sotto lo stesso menu. A parte che ho scritto sbagliato. E vabbè. Questo sarà il VM Notes. In modo che... No, l'icona la voglio proprio rimuovere. Questo non deve essere neanche una pagina, questo deve essere un testo. Testo che non si riesce a capire il testo. Cioè, non ce la faccio più, sto cominciando a... sto cominciando a fare i numeri. In realtà questo non ci serve neanche questo. Ok, much better. E anche questo sarà un blocco sincronizzato nel caso in cui volessimo metterlo da qualche altra parte. Ok, io direi che per stasera abbiamo dato, non ce la sto facendo più. Ed è già una buona struttura di base, poi la prossima volta si va avanti e niente. E, oh, grazie per la compagnia, anche se è stata breve, ma molto apprezzata. Io comunque resto online, cioè resterò online ancora un pochino, quindi al massimo ci si può sentire su Discord. Su Discordia. Vabbè, ma il tempo passa quando ci si diverte, non lo so più. Dai, alla prossima.